So save, and I'll create a new layer. Well, I'll call this one ref, but no ref in particular, you know, it's just a blue reference. So ref, right, and I'll create a new layer over this. I can turn off my my original references, but I'll just keep them on for now. So go here, turn on the opacity on this, right, and go here, zoom in, right, take off these lines now. So now I can start drawing and stuff. Right, so this will be the actual ink layer. Move, save, brush, 8-point ink, 5-point ink. Trying to make the earth a little uneven. Maybe I really should try to join some kind of wall, right? So, okay, so it makes no sense teaching you the wrong way to do the thing. File, open recent, tutorial scene, right? So I'll do this quickly. Go into my render settings, save, right, and escape grid number 2, save that. Come out of this, right, zoom out. I'll just take this, hold down Control, duplicate it, bring it over to here, right, stretch this out to about here, save, okay, right, and test it, right. See, a good thing I tested it. So what I have to do now is go back in the cell render, right, and take off the illumination checkbox, right. So we have our fence, right, and it's already saved properly as the correct output, so it wouldn't rewrite the other one. All right, so here we go, back into Photoshop now. Save, file, quit, right, Photoshop, right, file, place linked, save grid 2, place, line it up, right. Yeah, that's good enough. Right, it's just to get an idea of the wall. Let's back up to 100. Take this, drop it in our refs folder. Right. So now we have a wall to work with, a proper wall, and you see, it really didn't take that long. You know, it's mostly like laziness. You know, affects us sometimes. Right. So. Dot here, shift there, brush here, move, shift here, God, yeah, I have to zoom out, brush, yeah, right. Onward and upward. So now I can turn off that grid 2. And just continue where I was before. Right. Something's looking a bit off. So escape grid. Oh, it's probably just how I drew it. Yeah. Okay. So let me take back off this, go back to my blue, and continue. Zoom, move. So another long line, so just make sure when you're doing something, you do something different and you start back drawing, you're on the correct layer. Because there were a lot of instances where that happened to me and I ended up drawing on the blue layer, you know. So you just have to be aware of these things, you know, and check it before it gets too late, you know. You don't want to realize you make these mistakes like 10-15 minutes drawing down the line, you know. You want to try to constantly just throw extra eye, you know, on your layers panel and make sure everything is everything. So here can you see me drawing these long lines. All right, rotate. Like for this, you could even do something like some kind of a brick pattern, you know. Right, and drawing some bricks here. Right. Right, that's better. Move, select a square, yes, stroke, 3-point, okay, zoom, brush, deselect, right, erase, right, set, font, black. Text to, believe it or not, I spend more time in Cinema 4D than anything else. You know, so some of this stuff here is a little bit foreign to me. Right. So basically, I hope you guys get the idea. You know, you can pass this method on to your friends or anybody who you know might be interested in it, you know, because I'm really interested in helping out people and stuff, you know, when they have these kind of predicaments, you know. Okay, now that we have reached this stage, I'll quickly try to move us through the stage of creating the shadows. Alright, the first thing I'm going to do is rename this layer here and call it Talk Bubble, because I forgot to do that in the last part. And the next thing I'll do is I will go down here to create a new layer. I think you won't be able to see it because part of my screen is cut off for some reason or the other. I haven't been able to work that out, and I'm sorry for that. So you just have to check some other resource to find out what buttons you use to create a new layer. So I'll just create a new layer. I'll rename this layer to Shadow. Right. I'll zoom in on this just to check. Right. And I'll go down to my reference layers, right, I'll go down to the shadow layer and I'll turn it on. So immediately we get an indication of where we should put our shadows, right? Now for the street isn't exactly a shadow, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to put black over the entire street, because usually streets look kind of black, right? Or very dark, a very dark gray or something like that. Right, and I'm going to start blocking out these shadows here using the pen tool. So I'll just draw a path around this first shadow here from the wall. I will right click and go up to make selection, okay, and I will use Alt backspace to fill in this selection, right? I'll try to do the same for this one. Oh, it's pretty long. Alright, so I'll have to do it in stages. Alright, I'll go to my pen tool again. Click, 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 holding down the space bar to drag. Click, 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 click. I'll try to get this area as best as possible. This is a shadow of him jumping over. And with the placement of the light in Cinema 4D, we get accurate representations of where the shadows are supposed to be. Right. So I'll close up this one and I will make selection, okay, Alt backspace to fill that. Now, if I go here to my black selection tool and select my black path selection tool, I will be able to select the entire path of points. And I will just select both of these using Shift to select the other one. Right click and make selection, and it will make a selection for both the areas. Alt backspace. Right. It's very important that we always check here to make sure we're on the correct layer, because the reason why I'm stressing so much about this is I've made that mistake a lot of times and it cost me a lot of time. Alright, I think we'll do this area over here by the side of the house. Right, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Make selection, okay, backspace, deselect. Right, do this next one here, corner of the house, pen, make selection, deselect, move. Alright, what I think I'll do for this area is just select the paths in between these branches here and just paint them black. So pen, so what we can do is we can also use the brush tool to color in these areas, but I just find it more efficient to use the pen tool. You know, it's just a personal preference, you know, but it can be done either way if it suits you. So now I'm going to click here, shift click, shift click, shift click, shift click, right click, make selection, okay, and use the Alt backspace to fill in the rest. Deselect, right, okay. So in order to do the street now, I'm just going to use the pen tool and select the street area. Pen. Okay, how I'm going to approach this problem here with the white lines in the street is what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn off our shadow layer for a second, and I'm going to create a new layer above it. I'm going to call this layer whites. Alright. This will serve the same purpose as the shadow layer, but it will just be the opposite. You know, it would be just stuff that we want white, you know. Alright. So what I will do is I'll go back to my pen tool here. I'll select the line, first line, the second line, right. I'll go to my black selection tool. I'll make sure that I have both of them selected, make sure I have my white layer selected. Right click, make selection, okay, and instead of Alt backspace, right, to use the foreground color, I'm going to use Control backspace to use this background color here. Right, so I'm on my correct layer, Control backspace, and I've filled it with white. Now I can turn on my shadow layer, right, and we have our white lines. I like to use this method because it's very flexible. If I decide that I want to take them out, it's just a matter of turning the layer on and off. Alright. Okay. So going back to my shadow layer, we'll just try to get some here by the house. Pen. It doesn't have to be super accurate and straight because remember it's on a rough surface, you know, so it doesn't have to be as straight as with the wall, which the shadow lays on a smooth surface. Right, make selection, okay, Alt backspace, deselect. Alright. We have just another little piece here, so I'll quickly select it. Just drawing shape here, make selection, okay, Alt backspace, deselect, right, okay, so now I'll go back into my reference layers and I'll turn off my shadow layer so we can get a look on how we have progressed. Alright? Yeah. Okay, so I think we have everything covered with regards to doing the shadow layer. So early on, guys, I mentioned that I would show you some of my work and workflows for my graphic novel. Okay, so I'm just going to open up a file that I already had opened, right? Okay, this is one of the characters that I use. And this is how I go about creating my characters in perspective. I use a bit more advanced techniques than what I showed you. Now, Cinema 4D has a character tool that I used to create this character rig. When creating this rig, I made sure that it could be put into the most extreme poses possible so that the posing process would be both quick and efficient. Alright, so if I grab her leg controllers over here and I go to my move tool, I move this leg up to the side like this and then up again and to the side like this. Right, I take the other leg and I try to achieve the same pose that I did on the other side. Right, so you can see generally it has good deformation. You know, there's no real bunching up or intersection of the polygons within the mesh, you know. Right, so if I change this to my display to lines, right, you can see that there is really no intersection inside the mesh, you know, which is important because then those points could actually start poking out from other places. All right, change it back, or shading with lines. Right, so even when I adjust my mid controller, right, or adjust my head controller, I can almost have her like flipping right over, you know. Right, okay, so if I hit my reset pose, she goes back to the same initial pose that she was in. Okay, so I also added some of my own details to this character to help along with visualization and efficiency. Alright, now it's supposed to actually be 3 characters, so this one character would be substituting for the other 2 characters. Right, so I can change the here, I can take off the here. Alright, okay, for this let me take off all the visible controllers. Right, so for this character now, I have created a user data, which is something that I wouldn't go deep into it. I'll just say that it's a way of creating controllers for anything, you know, movement or anything, changing colors, anything. What I can do, right, like if I need her to be wearing something like take off her slippers, put her wearing sneakers, right, or maybe hero boots, right, and I can change the hero boots to some cowboy boots, right. I can even put on a cowboy hat, right. And if I go back to my character and my display, turn back on my controllers, select one of my controllers, right, even when the boots are on, I still get great deformations. Right, so I don't have to worry about like posing my character and then weird stuff will start to happen. Right, okay, and also what I did, right, was I created some facial expressions, right, so that it could coincide with what dialogue the character is actually having in the panel itself. So if I go back to my looks, right, I have some facial expressions here, right. I have an open jaw, right, talk, smile, right, smile with teeth, I have a brow down frown, right, and the wonder expression, right, and I can also rotate the eyes, right, to suit the expression too. You know, it's just a extra level of control that I thought I should put in, you know, and of course a blink, right. You know, I really didn't need to go super detailed on the eyes, so I just made them very simple. Okay, right. So now I'm going to open up a Cinema 4D scene where I have posed these characters already and created an environment for them. So let me see, what do I have here? Cleaning of statue. Let's try this one. Right. This is how I went about creating my scenes, right? I brought, well, I have some templates with things that I can use for trees and rocks and all of that, and I just brought everything in and placed them exactly how I wanted. So these are the characters down here, right? So the great thing about this, about doing things this way, is that if I would like a different view, right, you know, just to have some variety when they're talking and stuff, you know, I can always just render out them in a different position, you know. And if I want to place them anywhere on the scene, right, they would still be in perspective regardless of where I place the camera and I'm taking take the shot, right? So it's just a level of maintaining good consistency throughout the entire paneling of the comic, right? So what I would do is I would create a new camera for each panel. This can also be beneficial to people that create storyboards for movies. My scenes have a bit more detail than the process I showed you earlier, but I don't have to go, but you don't have to go this far if your skills in Cinema 4D aren't as developed as mine. Alright, so now let me show you a page. Well, even if I want to take an overhead shot, I can take an overhead shot and all. You know, even though it's very little detail I can work with, I can still get the perspective and angles and everything. Alright, so let me close off this. Quit. Don't save. And open up Photoshop so I can show you an actual page with all the grids and everything. So file, open recent, here we go, page 2. Alright, so this was an example of the same scene that we were looking at just now, right, where I took different camera shots of the characters, you know. So the only difference is, well, my level of detail is a little different to what I showed you, you know. And with a little persistence and a little time, you know, anybody could get the scenes to look the same way. Okay. Alright, the next thing I'm going to show you an actual finished ink that I did. Alright, so let me see. Okay. Alright, so here we go. So you can see the kind of detail that you can get while maintaining your perspective, right? I'm a lover of science fiction, and the storyline of my novel revolves around 3 aliens that live with this girl, this human girl here, and her father in a mysterious swamp. It's a lot of work, but it's one of the things on my list of things to accomplish. I try to do a little every day in the hope, you know, that it will increase my speed, and I will be able to complete my vision faster, you know. Another thing I want to do is, you know, I want to record videos regularly of me creating some type of content, maybe for this, you know. So I hope you guys take something from my tutorial and pass it along to anyone who you know that this process may benefit. I would also like to thank you for watching, and good luck with your artwork.